So first we are going to talk about the Henry Fayol. So Henry Fayol is again a management thinker who has listed 14 principles, right? So these 14 principles are flexible and these are not exhaustive principles basically. So these can be changed according to the situation or according to the needs of the organization. So his principles, they are applicable even today in both business and the non-business organization. So business organization, what we mean by business organizations are those organizations which are indulged in trading. So they are producing something which they are selling in the market, and in return for that they are getting money. So some kind of trading activity or give and take activity is taking place. Then we also have some non-business organizations which are service oriented, है ना? And so there also these principles are applicable even today. So he was a pioneer and he was the one who distinguished the management functions from the other activities of the business. So a differentiation was made what all are the management functions and what all are the other kind of administrative functions. So that kind of differentiation was made by Henry Fayol. He also highlighted the universality of these principles. So what we mean by this statement is that these 14 principles are universal. Whichever part of the country or whichever part of the world you go to, these principles would be found and these would be applicable in each and every corner of the world. So wherever any kind of business activity is taking place or any kind of non-business activity is taking place, there these principles would be applicable. His theory is also known as the management process approach. So his principles of management, they provide a systematic understanding of the various processes which are utilized in any organization and what is the process of management. So that is basically understood through this particular theory. So moving on to the next slide. These are the 14 principles of management which have been given by Henry Fayol. So first is division of labor. So what do we basically understand by the term division of labor? Can anybody tell me what we understand by division of labor?
यस मैम
मैम लेबर को
मैम
मतलब
तो
इन
At a time, एक बोल रहा है उसको बोलने दीजिए. Then yeah. Yes, please carry on.
मैम डिवीजन ऑफ लेबर मतलब लेबर का मतलब उनको डिवाइड कर देना हर किसी को मतलब वर्क मतलब पहले इसमें मैम वर्क को डिवाइड कर देते स्मॉल पार्ट्स में और हर किसी को मतलब उसको मतलब इंडिविजुअल को और जॉब असाइन कर देते हैं.
Okay. Anybody else? Somebody else was also speaking.
Work should be defined specialized skills, sir.
Okay, based on these specialized skills, we are dividing the labor into different categories, right? Anybody else who would like to throw even further light? So I guess what both of you said is totally right. So it is basically dividing the labor based on the specialization that they possess. So under this process, we are dividing the workforce into three different categories, which is unskilled labor force, we have the semi-skilled labor force, and we have the skilled labor force. So obviously for all these three type of levels, the wages which would be drawn by the employees, that would also be different. So unskilled would be drawing less wages, semi-skilled would be drawing a little higher wages, and the skilled workforce would be the one who would be getting the maximum wages. So depending on the number of years of experience and the skills that they possess, so based on that, the wages and the remuneration would be paid to the workers. So if I talk about the government norms, so normally the skilled workforce is getting approximately 18,500 per month as wages. So this is the minimum wages, right, which should be paid. Talking about semi-skilled is somewhere around 16,500 to 17,000 rupees. And unskilled would be getting minimum 15,000 rupees. And also the government keeps fixing the daily wage rate also. So at present, it is 178 rupees per day is the daily wage rate that a worker should be getting. So any worker who works for a certain duration in any factory premises, so at the rate of 178 rupees, the minimum wages would be paid. Now it also depends upon the paying capacity of the organization. So if the organization wants, they can pay higher wages. So this is the minimum decided by the government. Over that, they can give any kind of special allowances. They can give DA to the employees. So when we add up this amount, so we get a good, approximately, 300 to 350 rupees per day is the amount that a worker can easily get. Take the example of your own particular household. Whenever you get any kind of labor, for example, right now it is Diwali time. So most of the households, they go in for painting and whitewashing of their homes. So when you call these people, there is a contractor who is the leader of the pack. So that contractor is going to pay wages to the workers who would be working as per his instructions. So for there also, there would be a main painter, then there would be some labor. So the role of the labor is just to, clean the walls or wipe the floor and all those things, whereas the painter would be doing the actual painting. If it is some kind of a specialized painting, then you have a different skilled painter. So obviously, all these painters would have different wages. So it could be 750 per day for somebody, it could be 500 per day for somebody, depending on the skill set that a person possesses. So nowadays we have a lot of textured paints and a lot of drawings and stencil based paints and all. So the kind of specialization or the kind of skill a person possesses, based on that, the salaries and wages are decided. So if I talk about this principle, so division of labor is done based on these particular concepts. Then is authority and responsibility. So authority and responsibility, do we need to fix it in the organization? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Why do we need to fix it?
So that the work is done correctly in proper manner.
Okay. So see, whoever the person who has been assigned a job or assigned any kind of duty, it is his responsibility to carry out those duties, right? So if in case we are not fixing any responsibility on anybody, in that case, everybody would be like, apni marzi ke malik ho gaye. So that is why it is necessary that we fix that this particular department has to be handled by this particular team leader. It is the responsibility of this team leader that he has to get the work done from his team members. So unless and until we fix a responsibility on somebody, in that case, nobody would be held accountable. And if something goes wrong, so there would be the blame gained kind of an approach. He did it, है ना? उसने किया मुझे नहीं पता. But when we fix a particular person, कि anything goes wrong, you would be held accountable. In that case, that person would be cautious and he would be following all the necessary rules and regulations for the execution of the work in his particular department. Also, with responsibility comes certain amount of authority also. So if we are giving certain responsibility of the team leader, so team leader is also given an authority that you can take action against the non-performers. So unless and until that power is given to the worker, the team members would also take their team leader lightly. So that is why authority and responsibility has to be fixed within the organization. And this is a universal concept which holds true everywhere. If you look at your own particular family, so there either the father is the supreme authority or in certain cases mothers are the supreme authority, right? So that depends on the nature and behavior of a person. So whatever your mom says, that would hold true, or whatever your father says, that would be done. So that is by virtue of the position which he holds in the family, right? Then third is the principle of one boss. So do you think one boss should be there, or we can have multiple bosses? This is also called as unity of command, है ना? So why should there be unity of command? Yes, anybody?
Ma'am,
Please pardon.
I'm saying the principle of one boss. That means unity of command.
there
Yes,
should
ma'am.
be only one boss because an individual cannot be answerable to multiple bosses at once. It
Yes,
creates
ma'am.
confusion.
Yes, very good. Yes, anybody else is saying something? Samarth, you wanted to
No, ma'am.
say
This,
something?
ma'am, same.
Okay, yeah. So what Suzanne said and what Summers said is right, that the direction should be issued by one boss. The reason being, if a person is getting commands from different bosses, in that case, he would be in a state of utter confusion that which command to follow and which not to follow. See, everybody is a boss there, and if in case you are following one boss, following his commands, the other would be like, you are not following me, you are not following my conditions, or you are not following my directions. So he would be the one who would be like kind of pissed off with that particular employee because आप मेरी बात ही नहीं सुन रहे हो, आप मेरा कहा हुआ काम नहीं कर रहे हो. So that is why direction should be coming from one particular person only, and there should be one boss in the organization to avoid confusion, to avoid any kind of clutter. Then is unity of direction. So unity of direction is somewhat similar. So direction should be coming from in a particular order only. So if it is following from top to bottom, so it should be in that particular manner only. The top bosses are giving directions, and the people who are followers, they have to follow those directions and do their work accordingly. Next is equity. Equity means that everyone in the organization should be treated equally. Na? So there should not be any kind of differentiation between the employees based on their gender, based on their religion, or based on their any kind of political beliefs. So there should be equity. Each one should be treated in an equal manner, and each one should be given directions and allocated work accordingly. Next is order. So order is again very necessary. So things in an organization should be in order to avoid confusion, in order to avoid any kind of clutter which is taking place. So if there is a lot of clutter, obviously the organization would not be a successful organization. And in the due course of time, that organization is definitely going to fail. So unsystematic people and cluttered people are not liked by anybody. So we have to keep everything in order. Then is discipline. So discipline is again something which is really important. So each and every member of the organization is required to follow discipline. So there is a code of conduct which is given in the organization. There are various rules and regulations which need to be followed by the employees. So if an employee is not asked to report on a particular time, for example, most of the organization have these either kind of shift system or maybe a 9 to 5 kind of a work engagement wherein they have to devote 8 hours per day in the organization. So there is a reporting time of 9 a.m. What if a person comes at 11 a.m.? There is another employee who's coming at 10:30. There is a third person who came at 12 o'clock. The fourth person came after lunch. So what would be the scenario in that particular organization? The work will not happen there. Why? Because nobody is disciplined. They are doing everything as per their whims and fancies. So, under that situation, it would be very difficult for the manager or the head of the organization to manage the affairs of the organization. So, therefore, it is required that everybody reports at a particular time, which is fixed. And that is why we have these biometric machines and punching systems and attendance systems so that people report on time. So if people are reporting on time, they would be able to devote those number of hours towards their work. And secondly, each and every person's work is interlinked with each other. So if one person is coming, the other is not coming, in that case, there would be again a problem in execution of orders and problems in the manufacturing, or whatever operation the organization is doing. So, discipline is really necessary. There should be personal discipline as well as organizational discipline. So, personally, also, a person should be disciplined. Then is initiative. What is initiative?
To do the work itself for the first time.
Okay, to do the work, or हिंदी में if we say initiative का मतलब अपनी तरफ से पहल करना किसी चीज के लिए, right? So if I talk about as an employee, every person should exhibit this kind of quality, that they are, a kind of raring to go. They want to learn new things. They want to learn new concepts. They are ready to acquire new skills, and they are ready to update themselves. So, for that purpose, the employee should approach their bosses. Ki, boss, please assign me some work. I want to learn new things. You give me an opportunity for any kind of new trainings. So, unless and until an employee takes initiative and he comes forward asking for work, in that case, the organization would be a very good place to work for. Even the bosses would be happy that the employees are taking initiative and they are doing things on their own. Then is the fair remuneration. Remuneration should be equal for equal kind of work. So we have, this job evaluation system wherein we kind of specify, we prepare the job description and the job specifications. Based on that, the job evaluation is processes calculating the worth of a particular job. So here, if there are 5 people performing same kind of work, in that case, their remuneration should be equal to each other, right? Barring the ones who possess more experience. So there may be a possibility a person is more experienced and he was drawing a particular wage, a particular salary prior to joining this organization. So obviously जो पुरानी wages हैं हम उसको honor करते हैं और उसके ऊपर कुछ ना कुछ increment देके किसी worker को join कराया जाता है. So there may be a little difference, a little bit of difference in the wages of all 5 persons, but yes, there should be a fair system. There should not be that females are paid less and males are paid more. So if females are doing the same capacity of work or the same kind of work that a male member is performing, in that case, the female and male should be given the same wages.
Yes,
Then
ma'am.
is stability of tenure. So stability of tenure, what do we mean by this?
नहीं होना चाहिए एम्प्लॉय का
एम्प्लॉय को क्या नहीं होना चाहिए?
फ्रीक्वेंट ट्रांसफर मैम, मतलब रेगुलर, मतलब तुरंत ट्रांसफर नहीं होना चाहिए ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से दूसरे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में.
Okay. So basically here there means like there should be a job security, right? That's what you're trying to say. So stability of
Yes, ma'am.
tenure means that the job of an employee who's working in the organization, it should be a secure job. So he should be able to work for a longer duration in that particular company. Most of the people look for these kind of opportunities wherein they join the organization and they retire from there. And during the process, they should be getting the necessary increments, the necessary promotions, the necessary kind of, transfers or learning opportunities or career advancement opportunities. So if a person is getting all that in an organization, so he would be the most happiest, because most of the people don't like job hopping from one organization to other organization. They do it looking for, especially in private sector organizations, they keep job hopping. The only purpose behind this is to gain a higher package, so that is the ultimate motive behind those job hopping. And also, other than the higher package, they get a good or a challenging opportunity to work. The work environment may be good in a different organization. From an Indian company, a person may like to switch on to a multinational organization. So that is the reason why people change, but they prefer an organization where there is a lot of security of job and there is a stability in the organization. The next point is scalar chain. So scalar chain here means the various hierarchy levels which are there in the organization, है ना? So who is the boss? Below him, who would be the person? So the flow of the communication or flow of direction would be from top to bottom or also from bottom to top. So this kind of a system should be there in every organization wherein the hierarchy levels are properly defined, who is reporting to whom and who is accountable to whom. So this kind of system should be there in all the different organizations. Then
मैम
is subordination. Yes, Shivam.
स्केलर चेन में एक गैंग प्लैंक भी होती है।
गैंग प्लैंक वो
जिसमें
बेटा
जैसे
उसमें
कि
होता है गैंग प्लैंक जो हम बात करते हैं दैट इज इन दी साइंटिफिक मैनेजमेंट थ्योरी इट इज नॉट इन दिस हेनरी फेयोल के प्रिंसिपल्स में नहीं है
मैम इसी में होता है मैम गैंग प्लैंक।
में
मैम
वर्कर एट
12th
सेम
में इसी
लेवल
में ही पढ़ा था
काम
मैम।
कर रहे हैं ना,
अच्छा
तो
ठीक
दैट
है
इज
यस मैम
ऑलरेडी
इसी
इसमें
में पढ़ा था
14
गैंग प्लैंक
प्रिंसिपल्स में
इज
नहीं दिए
कॉलेज। यस मैम।
ओके ठीक है दीज आर बेसिकली द मेन प्रिंसिपल्स जो यहाँ पे लिस्टेड आउट हैं इसी में कहीं कहीं वेरिएशन करके लिखा जाता है बट मीनिंग इज मोर और लेस द सेम राइट सो गैंग प्लैंक इज व्हाट इट इज काइंड ऑफ अ लिंकिंग पिन है ना
यस
यस
how
मैम
one
डायरेक्ट
person who
कॉन्टेक्ट
is
विद।
to the हाँ to the other person तो वो स्केलर चेन का ही पार्ट हो गया ना so who is reporting to whom
वर्किंग एट सेम लेवल।
people who are working at the same level
यस मैम इक्वल रैंक पे डायरेक्ट कांटेक्ट करते हैं ना।
हाँ जी
मैम इन
बेटा प्लैंक क्या होता
इमरजेंसी
है
में यूज
आपने
किया
देखा है
जाता
ना
है ये।
नाले के ऊपर उसको पाटने के लिए जो हम डाल देते हैं दैट इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज अ प्लैंक है ना सो सेम थिंग इज देयर
यस
बिटवीन द एम्प्लॉयज ऑल्सो पीपल हु आर वर्किंग एट सिमिलर लेवल या हम प्रॉपर चेन की भी बात कर लें तो उसमें होता है ईच एम्प्लॉय इज रिलेटेड टू ईच अदर है ना in some way or the other in terms of performing their duties and responsibilities so that kind of a linkage is there between the employees so that is the meaning of gangplank also same level के employees हैं वो आपस में some way or the other they are associated with each other the next
Yes.
point is yes Shreya
No, ma'am. I think जो मेरा कहना है, this is an emergency chain for communicating within employees to employee.
यस मैम।
between employees or employer and employee
Yes, ma'am.
employer and employee you are saying na that's what I explained when I
Yes, ma'am.
explained scalar chain so scalar chain is deciding the various hierarchy levels in the organization who is the employer below him who would be the next authority उसके नीचे कौन next authority होगी so वही तो scalar chain होता है basic structure or the organization structure जिसको हम बोलते हैं so on top is the CEO below him would be the vice presidents and general managers then deputy general managers है ना फिर managers आएंगे then supervisors आएंगे and below the supervisors we have the workforce so this is a complete structure and whenever any kind of directions are flowing, so they would be flowing from top to bottom. Yeah, that's what you're trying to say, Shreya?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
यस मैम।
So next is subordination of individual interest to general interest. So basically here the person should not be focused upon their own particular interest rather than they should be focused on the general interest of the organization as a whole. राइट सो अपने इंडिविजुअल हम जो हमारी एम्बिशंस हैं उनको ऊपर ना रख के वी हैव टू कीप द एम्बिशंस ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इन माइंड एंड वी हैव टू वर्क अकॉर्डिंगली so this is subordination of individual interest to general interest then is spirit d corps which we called as team spirit है ना so this can be achieved through unity of command so if command is coming from one particular person in that case we can achieve a proper teamwork within the organization if there are too many bosses obviously teamwork cannot be achieved so spirit d corps means unity or the team spirit then is centralization and decentralization. So which kind of organizations are better, centralized organizations or decentralized organizations?
मैम
What is the
सेंट्रलाइज
difference between the two? What do we understand by centralization and decentralization?
मैम अथॉरिटीज बटी हुई होंगी डिसेंट्रलाइज्ड में।
Decentralized, yes, the authorities are given to different persons. What is centralization?
मैम
Decision
सेंट्रलाइज्ड
making authority.
So the authority lies at one particular place, it is centralized. Only that person can take any kind of decision and can issue any kind of directions. So centralization is, kind of existent earlier, but now the organizations are following the decentralization process. So post, kind of
Yes.
liberalization and everything, people prefer that there should be more of decentralization. Why? Because if everything is centralized, only one person is there who's going to take all the necessary decisions in the organization. So a lot of wastage of time takes place because of this. And moreover, you cannot take the larger picture or the opinion of the other people under this. Whereas during a decentralized organization, there each and every the head has an opportunity to speak for itself. They can give their opinion, they brainstorm, they discuss, and then they come to a particular conclusion. Okay, that this decision would be the best possible decision in the favor of the organization. So earlier we had these kind of organization, but now decentralized organizations are preferred. And the reason being, a boss cannot be present all the time. So that is why he has to assign responsibility and authority, or he has to delegate authority to other persons so that they can also take decisions in his absence. So CEOs, they cannot be present all the time. They are required to travel in different parts of the country. They're required to attend meetings, government directives and all. So government meetings are there. So he cannot be present all the time. So that is why they empower each and every department to take decisions on their own and run their particular business unit effectively and efficient. All right, so these are the 14 principles which have been given by Henry Fayol. And like I said, these are existent even today, and these are followed in primarily all the organizations. So I don't think there is any organization which is not following these particular principles, right? So that's it for today.